Alright, this is going to be a review of the Moyu 5x5. So right off the bat, you might be wondering if this feels like a Aochuang with another layer. And it kind of does, actually. It's definitely not quite the exact same, but it certainly has quite a similar feel. And that's probably due to the rounds. You can see all the pieces compared to the Shengxiao are very rounded. And that probably, well, that definitely helps lockups quite a bit. Comparing this to a broken-in fluorine-rotted Shengxiao. And right off the bat, this puzzle, out of the box, it was a bit slow. And all I've done to this is do an average of 100 and put in 1 drop of Maro lube in here. So that's all it took, though. It's absolutely amazing now. I've broken all my PBs on it. I think besides the little rounds that help just overall catching, because if you see it's like slightly off here, you might get a lockup, but here it's a lot more forgiving. So that really helps with the lockups. It was a bit uncontrollable at first, but once you kind of adapt your turning style slightly, it's pretty good. Now the main flaw I found with the 5x5 corner cutting is if you go past line to line, this edge gets dragged down and it basically will not allow the turn, and that can cause some nasty lockups. That's like pretty inaccurate for a 5x5 turn, but still it's kind of annoying every now and then. With this, you can, it sort of, it goes line to line, it starts going down, but then pops up and into place effortlessly. So it has completely eliminated that lockup issue, which is really nice. So, I mean, not that, if you're this inaccurate during turning 5x5 and you need more corner cutting, there's something wrong. But this is definitely, even for that rare case that you do need that much corner cutting, it, most of the time, okay, that's a bad example, that was a little too much, but line to line, it's fine. So corner cutting is pretty much as good as it needs to be. Reverse cutting, a little bit, but not that much. So overall, this cube is pretty good. It does have a slightly textured plastic, kind of like the Fancy Shuang Ren. So at first, it kind of has that feel that it's hard to explain. Like if you get a brand new Fancy Shuang Ren, you know what I'm talking about. And you can't really hear it because the sounds of the 5x5 kind of overpower the sound, but it definitely doesn't stay that way for long once it's broken in. So yeah. Now looking at the pieces here, they have these little tabs at the end, and that sort of prevents pops, but what it really does is, do an example here. If we just compare the two mechanisms, this is the main one. You can see on the Shengxiao, it has not much going on, it's not very tall. But on this puzzle, you can see that this has like this bump here, and it's quite apparent. It makes the pieces, get that in focus. Whatever, it makes them a bit different. And just as a comparison here, if I were to pop this piece into this cube, it's quite easy to do. But if that piece were to pop out on this puzzle, it definitely has a bit more resistance getting in there. You've got to really force it. So that kind of prevents pops. It doesn't really pop that much, but I have had one explosion where like a quarter of the cube just fell out. But that was just one time out of an average of 100, so it was kind of just a bad turning mistake, so it's not bad. But when it does pop, the pops are kind of just a tiny bit harder to fix than on the Shengxiao, but realistically, it just doesn't pop as much, so it kind of balances out. And when the layers kind of misalign and stuff, like I don't know how to do it on command here, but when you get like something, you know, where you have these layer lines, it really forces back into position quite easily. And another bonus is that these X centers, or whatever you want to call them, on the Shengxiao, these do twist sometimes, and it's just really annoying, like something like that. That doesn't happen nearly as much on the Moyu, so that's kind of a bonus. And the overall speed and performance of this cube is very good. I really have no complaints. I'd highly recommend it. So I might as well do an example solve here. Pretty much immediately broke all my PBs on this cube the second I got it. So, well, the second it was slightly broken in. So it is definitely an improvement on a very broken in Xingqiao 5x5 that's in Florian modded. So, and this is right out of the box. I have no idea how good it's going to get with breaking in. I'm also not very good at setting up puzzles to be really fast. Whenever I try people's puzzles in other competitions, they're just way faster than mine. So this could get even better in the right hands, but I mean, it's definitely good enough for me. Okay, let's see. 'Not a very good solve. Three by three stage on this puzzle is just absolutely amazing. It's definitely a lot like the Aochu when it comes to 3x3 stage. Alright, that was really bad, but whatever, that's the first solve of the day, so. Anyways, highly recommend this puzzle. It's very good. It is a tad bit smaller than the Xingqiao 5x5. I found the Xingqiao 5x5 to be a pretty good size. There is just a minute difference, just minute, but it's still there. And for some reason, not that this actually matters at all, but the stickers on the outer layers are thinner than the center ones. So they're a bit rectangular, but whatever. It just kind of creates a bit of a weird look. But overall, absolutely amazing. So yeah, not much else to say about that. If you really want to get, or like 5x5, highly recommend it. It is vastly superior to the Xingqiao, and in a lot of ways is kind of like a Aochu with just one more layer, but there is a slight bit of a different feel, just obviously with more layers. It's slightly more difficult to control, but that's just inevitable with 5x5. So yeah, thanks for watching.